This is a Transformers Legacy Prime Arcee.
Is this figure worth it? Is it good? Should you buy it? I don't know. That decision's up to you.
Here's a look at the packaging. Inside the packaging, there's Arcee.
But the real question is, are you seeing anybody? Because I'm single.
Here goes. Can't do it. Thanks for the help.
On the front of the box art, you have Arcee in her vehicle mode, once again from the Transformers Legacy line and a deluxe class figure. Side of the box art looks the same as the others. On this side, you have box art of Arcee. On the back, you have her in her robot mode and vehicle mode, and only 20 steps. Please come out.
Wow, that really made a mess.
Here is a figure, and first off, we need to attach this back on, and this goes here.
She comes with an Energon shield, which can split apart to form 2 Energon blades.
And this wheel at the back is also an accessory.
Open it up to reveal a very poor excuse of an Energon blaster. We'll get back to these later.
Now at first glance, this figure does seem similar to the original Deluxe Prime Arcee figure that came out, but it's not. It's very different. The entire sculpt is different, the head sculpt looks very different, and the wheels on this one are on the side, while in the original design, they were on the back of the legs.
By the way, there is a third-party copy of the original Transformers Prime Arcee, so subscribe if you want to see that. In fact, just subscribe in general.
The head sculpt on this does seem a bit more G1,
which is the aesthetic they were going for the Legacy line of figures.
It looks like my copy already does have some paint chipping going on. Now, even though this figure does have a much different head sculpt, this one still looks good. The faceplate on it is really nice.
These pinkish purple colors, whatever they are,
look really nice as well.
And the light piping on this figure is absolutely amazing. Like, give me a second, look at this, look at this. That is an insane amount of light piping.
And that is because the entire back of the head is a translucent blue, and it blends in with the rest of the head really well. This is a much older figure, but for example, there's a lot of Transformers figures with light piping where the entire back of the head is just a completely different color, and it kind of ruins the color scheme of the head.
I mean, you couldn't really give this gray light piping because that would look bad, so I'm not sure what point I'm trying to make here.
Now a closer look at the neck and collarbone. It's a nice silver gray. There's a painted on Autobot logo, which looks very bold, if that makes sense. You have some vents on the sides of her upper body here, and then it slims down to the waist, which is a nice silver with a very mechanical look to it. There's a little bit of detail on the arms, not too much. There's a bit of panel work on the side of the arms that really show off more in the vehicle mode. There's a little bit more of that pinkish purple color here. Other than that, the arms don't have too much detail on them. The thigh area looks relatively simple, and then down onto the rest of her feet, you have a nice silver on her kneecaps with a bit of molded detail. There's some detail on the front of the legs here too, some more of that paint there. And down onto her feet,
they look awful. What the fuck?
These feet look pretty horrendous in my opinion, especially with this sticking out. I know it's for support when standing, but it looks really ugly, and having these wheels on the side really ruins the silhouette of the figure. I mean, they are detachable, so you can remove it, and it does make the silhouette look better, but then like, what are you gonna do with this?
If you can think of something creative, then let me know in the comments.
Now, some other issues I have with this figure is that this arm right here is pretty loose and pops off very easily, and if you turn her around, she does have a very ugly backpack that consists of the front section of the vehicle mode, and I also had issues of this popping off very easily, but it seems to be stuck in place now, embarrassing me on camera. Moving on to some more detail areas I missed on the figure. Over here you can see a little bit of motorcycle detail. The inside of these legs consists of being motorcycle pipes, and while her backpack is ugly, these side panels of the motorcycle do have quite a bit of detail inside them. Now the articulation on this figure is pretty good. If you can see, the head is on a ball joint, so she can look up and down. She's got a bit of a tilt going. She can spin her head all the way around. These arms can come out to the side, and you get a full 360 rotation on the arms. They can also move down. There is bicep rotation, an elbow bend that only goes 90 degrees. This can shift down and up for the transformation. The hands do have rotation. They can spin all the way around, but this kind of gets in the way, but you are able to do it. There's kind of an ab crunch, but not really. She can bend her back all the way like that. This crotch piece can move up and down. The waist can spin all the way around. The rest of her body fell off.
Not an uncommon thing to happen to people.
The legs can come out to the side. They can come forward, and you can rotate them back pretty far.
You can rotate the legs out to the side a little bit,
and you get pretty much a 90-degree knee bend. The feet can pivot, but they cannot move up or down. You can move them in like this, but that's for the transformation. Now let's move on back to the accessories. Here's a closer look at the Energon shield that also turns into blades. It's a translucent blue, and it kind of has this ninja vibe going on with it, and you can attach it onto her arms, and these ports are also 5mm ports, so
when making my videos, I always think to myself, what is the dumbest thing I can do in this moment? And that's a life philosophy too. Socrates said, in the moment that is current, is a good moment for stupid.
Now we can split them and place them on each side of the arms. And it looks dumb. Very, very dumb. I don't like them. These are supposed to be Energon Blade versions of what the original Transformers Prime Arcee had. She can also hold them if you wanted to.
Now for the other accessory she has, which I also think is really dumb, is the front wheel, which I showed earlier. You can split it open and what you get is what's supposed to be a Energon blaster. Blaster? I hardly know. It looks like a drone, and this part right here kind of looks like a groin cup. Yeah, good job on that one, Hasbro.
I do like the metallic-y blue paint on the inside though. It looks very nice. But still, like, what the fuck? Well, what is this supposed to be? Like, she can hold it in her hand, and it's a little hard to get things in there sometimes. And the instructions don't even show this right.
In the instructions, you can clearly see that the groin cup is supposed to be down more.
But this isn't able to move down. And this really is the dumbest excuse for a weapon I have ever seen.
It can also be placed at the back if you move this part down, and then you can plug it into this peg right here. So if you prefer it to have some kind of wheel wings, you can do that. Anyways, back to more Also, speaking of more useless things...
Remember when I was talking about her back here and how this can actually separate? It doesn't do anything.
This doesn't turn into an accessory or anything like that. Unless anyone else knows why, I personally think it's absolutely useless for this to be able to detach.
Anyways, enough complaining about plastic toys, let's move on. Now for the 5mm ports on this figure, you have them on the arms as shown earlier. You have ports on the inside panels of the motorcycle. There's those on the feet as well.
There's the ones on the Energon accessories, and then these here are 5mm ports as well.
There's that one at the back underneath the neck, and then this is also a 5mm port for where this is supposed to go.
So with all these ports, you can do this. Anyways, here she is with Studio Series Hot Rod, and as a deluxe class figure, you can see she's smaller. Same with Voyager Starscream from the Legacy line, as well as the Legacy Prime Bulkhead. She seems to be slightly taller than Legacy Alita 1, and taller than Bumblebee movie Arcee. Now, some people seem to be getting annoyed that I keep using the Alien Attack Girl in videos, so I'm gonna put a rest to that. Here she is next to the Alien Attack Girl.
Now onto the transformation. By the way, this is my third time trying to transform this on camera. It's a very simple transformation, but for some reason, every time I film it, nothing goes right, and this arm is just insanely loose. So if you see me a bit frustrated during the transformation, I am sorry. So the first thing we need to do is bring the head around. The instructions don't say that, but it helps later on. Now we need to pull this out and then rotate it right here and then bring it forward like that. Now these pieces on the arms need to shift down. Now we rotate the waist and then bring it up so that way we can bring down the arms over here and then that keeps happening.
This has happened so many times.
But we just need to align it up and have them together. Now we can open these parts of the legs up and then spread the legs. I know what you're thinking, stop. We need to open this and then bring it down like that. So now rotate the legs and bring them in here, align it up like that. You want to do the same with this leg. Have it like this, bend it.
Make sure this is out.
And then just align it like so.
Close the feet. It's probably best to do that earlier in the transformation.
And then bring these together, which is insanely difficult to do on camera. It's like microsurgery.
Push it in forward a little bit to get it to line up perfectly.
Now you just want to tab these side pieces into these two notches right here. So this top one goes there and the bottom one goes in here.
So go ahead and bring that in and compress it all together.
And then same with the other side. And there is the vehicle mode. So the transformation on this is very simple, but for some reason I just had a very hard time transforming it on camera.
What does that say about my mental state? I don't know.
Anyways, the vehicle mode does look pretty good.
Now, I'm not sure if this was intentional, but these side pieces right here do kind of look like metal, even though they're made of plastic. This figure does have some nice motorcycle detail on it. You have a nice pattern on the rims of the wheels. There's a little bit of detail on the swing arm and the final drive. I definitely didn't just Google a diagram for motorcycle parts online. The front brakes are a nice silver with a neat design to them. The front suspension also has some detail. You have the exhaust pipe,
some vents. It even has a little gas tank. I like the side mirrors it has, and they're not flimsy. For some reason you'd expect them to be flimsy, but they're pretty solid. Same with the handles and the brakes, they feel pretty solid. There's even some odometer details in there. Look at the front, there's some orange paint for the light on both sides. There's even a little kickstand that can move. This wheel can roll pretty well. This one's a little tight on mine. Here's a look at the underneath. The main headlights look pretty nice. If someone could give this some custom LEDs, I think that would look really nice. The motorcycle alt mode on this looks really good.
And if you enjoyed this video, I have so many other videos that you could watch if you wanted to. Make sure to check out one of these.
And a big thank you to all my patrons who support me on Patreon for only $1 a month. It's 12:48 a.m. right now and I'm craving some ice cream.